Hello traders, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. How are you today? Please give me some okay that you can hear me well and you can see my screen. Wonderful, thank you very much guys. So, I have some busy, good to see you guys, good to see you. Some new names and some old names here. Good morning. I'm very good. Thank you for asking, Sunny. Guys, let's begin. We have many updates and levels to go over this morning, Canadian morning. So let's begin. Let's start with those that are paying and paying very beautifully. Our dollar yen continues its bearish run, which is perfect for us. Just want to remind you, our target is here at the bottom of this range. Still zone of the possible gap close, and that should be here around the zone of 1.8. We have no signs to stop that. Therefore, we remain bearish in our view for the dollar yen, and also reminding that according to the longer term cycles, after this range, there is a good chance we are going maybe for further one. That could be 104. That could be even below than 100. Okay, that's for the dollar yen. We continue with the heavy bearish run that this pair has and created for us right from here. Next one is the euro versus the franc, which was triggered yesterday and today providing us the opportunity for 1 to 4, 1 to 5 risk reward right from this area. Beautiful move, beautiful setup risk reward. It was slow yesterday, yes, but you remember what we always say, right? When everything is online, on the line, that's the best starting point we as traders can ask for, and that's what we need. That's the only thing we can guarantee, the best starting point. How a trade will end up, never ever no one would be able to guarantee. We are dealing here with market, right? Anticipation, expectation, right? We are dealing here with statistics, and the only best thing that traders can do is to start their trade from the best starting point. Once you have that and you have the risk reward in your case, that's exactly how profits start to accumulate and keep going. Now, for the short term targets and for the long term targets. So basically, what we want to see, the pair breaking right here, this bottom, and ideally even this one, which is the 116. For first destination we have for this pair on the last leg, we should aim something like the 116, 115. Then and only then we can start talking about the longer term targets, etc. Currently on the 4-hour chart, it seems like it's a bit struggling to break the previous lows. Currently it's bouncing exactly from there. There is a potential short-term divergence to be developed, and I say potential because we don't have the MACD turning to the upside. So currently it is bearish, and here comes the question: should we cash out or should we not cash out? And remember what I always say: the only deciding factor here is your risk reward plan. How do you trade? If you trade with 1 to 2 risk reward, you have to cash out. If you trade with 1 to 3 risk reward, you have to cash out. If you are going for a big fish, you have the reason for that. Will that work or not? Only time will tell. The must do thing here, any way we turn it around, is at least break even. From there, it's all about total performance. Do you remember this term, guys? Total performance. What total performance means? How do you do during the week, month, quarter, etc. Right? That's the answer. If one good position can boost up your performance to the upside, perfecto. If you have to break even and turn small profits up, then you have the reasons to make money. On such opportunities, the bottom line is don't give the money back to the market. That's all. That could be break even, that could be partial cash out, that could be full cash out. Everyone with his or her own risk reward plan. Okay, and for the longer run, we still have the room to the downside, and our invalidation area is right here, just as a reminder. That's another pair that has been very beautifully paying for us. Next one that we also have a great run on, that's the pound versus the kiwi, which basically is making a very nice continuation move. Yesterday was holding the supportive area here and providing the intraday opportunities to go long. It was right with the break of the trend, and of course. And skyrocketing, keep going. Our first destination target, I want to remind you guys, this is right here. Okay, so we're aiming, this is the first part, the zone of 192, sorry. This is where we should be looking to get our profits, at least partial. And for the long term, guys, we are open going, easy going. Why? For the reason of the weekly cycle. We can go and retest the previous highs around the level of 198 or 2. We can go and spike towards the 2.1, believe it or not, which is right here. So we have, sorry, it's a bit higher here. Okay, so we have all the reasons to remain bullish, but as I always say, we never ever ever give back the money to Mr. Market. Remember that, it's very, very, very important, a very, very common mistake. Why? Because we can easily get even something like that, right? It's doable, it's possible. We don't want to be under risk, and we want to make sure we don't give the money back. And that's why we have our temporary targets on the way. 192 is the first level we are aiming. We are 200 points to the upside since the trendline breakout. Very good place to make the money. And that's the main stars. We have the euro pound, which we are bearish from the beginning of the week, right? From this zone, we continue our bearish run. No changes, guys, no changes. That's the bottom line. If we are looking at the cycles, there is a great chance we can be going even further and lower. And there is still this area, right, to be reached and be closed. There are all the reasons for that to continue lower. Currently, no divergence, nowhere. That's why this pair continue only to be on the bearish side. Okay, that's all. And the way to trade that is, of course, two waves retraces or ranges, pattern breakouts, right? In that case, this is intraday triangle. It could be two waves retrace, it could be range retrace. We have always two options to follow up. Okay, that's the first ones we are in, and that are paying us and paying very, very nicely. Besides that, we have the dollar Canadian short going, and we have the Oz yen shorts going that we have been talking about. We wanted to see two waves breakout, and we got two of them. We got one of them here yesterday, provided 1 to 2 risk reward all the way to the previous bottom for a double bottom, and then we had this one, which is providing now live another sell-off, right? So all those of you guys who are trading short term, this is how we do it. Remember, you set a direction, right? And you trade this direction on the lower time frames. As long as you don't have signs against you. That's the bottom line. As long as you don't have signs against you. We did not have any divergence on the 4-hour chart against us, therefore we remain bearish. Two waves rally, bearish divergence, sell. Two waves rally, bearish divergence, sell. That's all. And it's all about the risk and reward. Okay? That's how you get intraday risk reward. It's not about being right. It's about being smart and wait for your opportunity. That's all. Andre, if you can, regarding the club meeting in sorry. Oh no, it's something else. Andre, about the broker questions, please write me private, okay? With Telegram or Skype, okay? I'm not going to answer that right here, all right? Okay, let's continue, guys. Other pairs we are bearish and running. That's Euro versus the Kiwi, right? And now it is time to pay some attention. Why? Because we are running into triple double here, which means there is a chance we are into deeper correction here. So time to end up with shorts, and here is why. That was the kind of first intraday movement. Then we got the duplication here. Now we are facing a false break, and that means that there is a chance we are going for second leg of this. Okay, so I will be very careful here with the Euro Kiwi, and the idea here now is that we accept both directions, bullish on the short term as well. Why? Exactly because of the reasons I just mentioned. The best way to confirm anything like that is if we start to break the trend line and if we start to gain higher highs. On the intraday charts, the way we can get our buys is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and breakout, and then we have our buys valid. Okay, so the bullish direction is now definitely possible, doable, and we can see that running slightly forward, providing us maybe the second wave to the upside as a short-term rally. So the Euro Kiwi, we enjoyed a bearish run, and now it's time to say enough. Only for the bearish run, we can accept short-term rallies as well. And the way to do that would be, as I said, if we start to break above the trend line, if we start to gain higher highs, and if we can see 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then breakout, we are into the buys. Okay, Euro Aussie, we have been short as well. We got our short here. I saw some question in the chat this morning in the Telegram about this setup using the Scorpio. It could be Scorpio, it could be with any other system. It could be Triple B, of course, as well. It could be the SRS with the trend. The bottom line here, we got exactly everything by the rule. We were bearish. We still are for the longer run. We said we want to go short after the two waves on the top of the 4-hour chart range. And that's exactly what we got here. 1, 2. We got the rally. We got the buy reason. And we got the, the sell reason. And we got the entry. Right here. And that the profit were achieved. The profits were achieved pretty quickly. So the question is, what's happening with the Euro Aussie for the longer run? And the bottom line here was and remain exactly like with the Euro versus the Kiwi. We kind of in the middle of triple here. We are bearish for the long run, right? Which means every two waves to the upside we are looking to sell. That could be 4 hours, it could be 1 hour chart. Okay, so we want the rallies to be sold. Okay, bottom line here. And yes, on the intraday view, we can start looking for the rallies, but not as the euro versus the kiwi. Here we can't find a reason. It was a very ugly range, straight move up, straight move down. It's kind of a V pattern here. So euro kiwi is tradable potentially. Euro Aussie, as you can see, really is not. Okay, that's the difference, and that's why sell rallies and with a two waves breakout to the downside would be much safer thing to do for us. Okay, great. So that's the updates we have. Gold and silver in terms of commodities, we got the continuation. That was the only last trend line. We got the rally, we got the movement, and the same with silver. That gave us a new low here. That's actually on the much better behaving on the 1 hour chart. We got the movement, and we got the new low creating right here. After the new low, the last relevant trend line was basically here and here. It's pretty much the same of the trend line, and we got the rally. We remain bullish, guys, here. No updates, changes, or anything like that, and we are aiming 18. Okay, and we are aiming 18. Great, so that's the updates of the running trades we have. Now I have a few more to go over. That's the natural gas, which I saw amazing comments recently from you guys. Thank you very much for that. Natural gas, every two waves down movement, we are into buys. Remember that. That's what we are doing here, guys. And the last two waves were here on the intraday, and that was the place we are long. Have your patience. There must be two waves. We can't trade without two waves, because and it has to be followed with divergence, of course. Wait for that. If it's about to make two new ones from here, wait for that. Why? Because you improve your chances. You improve your chances to end up in a profit. You are minimizing the risk by tightening the breakout, the level before the breakout, and with that, the risk reward increases immediately, and we are going with the higher time frames. So natural gas holders or traders, we continue our run. Currently, you have to be a bit careful. Why? Because we are dealing here now with triple descending cycle, which means 1, 2, 3, 3 is less than 2, 2 is less than 1. Triple descending cycle. Each leg is lower, and we have here a possible fake convergence. So yes, we can start looking for possible retraces to the downside, but it will not change our view for the long term. We are still bullish, and we are bullish for good, for long, okay, long term. So that's for the commodities. Now, several more of the things I want to go over before we update the levels for the rest of the pairs, guys. Now, if you remember our yesterday's session, what did we say yesterday? Patience and timing. Remember, 2 days ago on Monday, we have been talking about the pound dollar and the 140 level, right? And if you remember, if you don't, you can go and watch the recording, of course. But we were saying the levels are amazing. The confirmation is amazing in terms of divergence. The only thing we must get in order to become bearish is what? Is get ourselves a setup. Right, guys? Get ourselves a setup, which means false breaks and convergence. Did we have that? No. If we do not have the reasons for a turning trend, a beginning of a new trend, ending of the previous trend. As long as we don't have that, we continue with the trend we currently have. Remember that? And the market is teaching this week an amazing lesson. Because let's admit it, Aussie dollar was the same. It looks simply amazing for a short-term sales, but there was no reason to go for a sell. Kostas, and for your question of the Aussie dollar, I assume you are talking about this one? And the answer is, of course, is correct. 100% yes. You have a bullish hidden divergence here as a confirmation for your bullish run expectation, right? You have a very nice breakout here with risk in terms of risk reward. You had a breakout. You have your stop loss right here, the last low protection. Why not? Of course it's good. Of course it's good. Why do we put the stop loss there? Because this is your last low. That's your last two candles on the rally. That's your low. This is your last respected lows. Here, last two candles, it was broken. So this is your last low. And this is where you protect. Why not? Of course. That's the idea of tightening the risk in order to improve the reward, right? We protect this low. I assume you refer to this one, right? When the breakout is straight and you don't have here another low. But if you have here a valid low, right? Valid low, why would you increase your risk? Okay. So the Aussie dollar is 100% yes. We have all the reasons to continue to the upside. Let's go back here. Ken, you are asking about this one? Yeah, why it's valid? Very simple. How do we know if this correction is valid, guys? Okay, this is the law of the small correction, right? How do we know if it's valid? If it broke the last two candles rule. What are the last two candles rule on this rally, on the last rally? 1, 2, right? That's the last two candles answering us the condition of valid two candles, right? It was broken, yes. So boom, here we are. Yeah, you are very welcome, Ken. Guys, is that clear? Is that clear here? Okay. Okay. Yep. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Mohammed, that's very right. The dollar is still very, very weak, but this is exactly what we are trading, right? Our direction is bullish, and I want to remind you that, guys, and this is why we have that on our report. Euro dollar bullish, pound dollar bullish, Aussie dollar bullish, Kiwi dollar bullish, and we do start looking for the possible sell setups, but we don't have it there. That's why we are bullish, guys. This is the trend. And if you remember what we've been talking about on Monday and yesterday also, as long as we don't have the signs to prevent riding the trend, we do ride the trend. We do ride the trend. Just remember that, guys. The old saying, the trend is your friend, right? So you know that I upgraded that long time ago. The trend is your friend until the end. From the end, it's not your friend anymore. We are looking for this end. Okay? Do we have the reason for the end? Let's go to the euro dollar. We have been talking about this one many times. The level of 124, 125. Who remember this level? I've been talking about it I don't know how many times. 124, 125, right? And we said if we get another convergence, another false break and lower lows, we are dealing with sells. As long as we don't, we are looking for buys and buys only. And who can tell me what was this? And who can tell me what was this? Where is my intraday trend line disappeared? Here. Right? That's exactly what we are doing. I see. No, this one we didn't have. Okay, guys? That's what we are looking to do. Of course there is, Costas. It's called a bullish hidden. It's called a bullish hidden divergence. Any divergence could be in play. Bullish hidden to continue the trend. Continuing or regular to end up the correction. Anyone is in play. Okay, guys? So the euro dollar continues up. Yes, we are on the levels we wanted. Do we have a reason to stop? No, exactly. So we remain bullish. Pound dollar. Did we get a reason to stop? Yes or no? Did we get a reason to stop for the pound dollar? No, exactly. So we remain bullish. Is that a valid setup here? Yes or no? Of course, yes. And that's the examples for the bullish, for the intraday traders of you. So we can't trade long terms because of the critical levels we are approaching, but we can enjoy the short-term trading and the momentum. We have the risk reward here. We have the open levels, right? No, we can't expect 600 pips target, but we definitely can expect 100 or 50. And if our risk reward allows us 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 risk reward inside this range, boom, that's how we do it. And that's how these majors paid us from yesterday until today. Always ask yourself the same questions I ask you and I challenge you with, guys. Do we have any reason to stop a trend? Yes or no? No. Do we have any signs against us? Yes or no? No. Do we have a setup to continue the trend? Yes. So why not to continue the trend, right? And I know many of you did, because you, and thank you for that, share with me your ideas and your, performance on the Telegram. So thank you very much. Keep going, guys. And I show you all that, and we go through all that for the same reason exactly. That's how trading should be done. There are only two options, guys. Only two options. We are with the trend or we are against the trend. The signs against the trend are obvious and clear. We must have false breaks, convergence. If we don't have the end of the trend. You don't need ever, guys, ever stop remembering that. And don't deal with guesses. Let me ask you a fair question. How many of you tried? Please be honest. How many of you did try to look for sales for the pound dollar of 120, of 140, and for the euro dollar around 120, and for the Aussie dollar around the 080, just because we are on the levels? Be fair with yourself. How many of you tried that? Here you go. You see the majority of this group right now. Why? Why? Kostas, you're the only the only one saying no, and that's very good. Why, guys? I really mean that. I'm asking you, and I really I really want you to think about it. Did you have any reason besides level? No, right? Some rumors, some expectations, statistical days, Everything was there. But my question was there a reason for a sell? A reason means false break convergence or 3 waves down, 2 waves up breakout. Did we have any of these? No, no, no. And if we don't have that, we cannot and we should not ever go against. Don't try to prove the market you are right. The market can bite. And oh, that's painful. Okay, done. Perfect. That's the deal. Go with the trend. I'm very happy you did that. Trend. Perfecto. No reversal signs. We go up. We go up. Very, very well done. Don, I'm very happy for you. Okay. In what time frames? I don't know. In what time frames we go and look for false breaks? 1 or maximum 2 time frames lower than the cycle you are ending. So if you are ending a weekly cycle, then your false breaks must be on daily and 4-hour chart. If you are ending a daily cycle, then your false breaks have to be 4-hour or the 1-hour chart. 1 or 2 lower time frames than the cycle or cycles you are ending. Okay, that's the idea. Mohammed, the euro dollar you said is carving fresh 3 years high. Area should begin. Mohammed, my friend, exactly 100% correct. There are all the reasons on earth, for that level to hold. But my question is, do you have a reason to trade sell? You don't. All you have currently is just a good level. And this is what my main goal to teach you here, guys. Timing, 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 timing. The technical part, you don't need me. It's too easy. It's available for you online for free. You don't have to pay a penny for that to learn to spot resistance, trend line, and so on. The only thing that no one ever is able to teach is timing. When it's right to trade with the trend, when it's wrong to trade with the trend, and when it's good time to go for reversals. And that's my goal. That's exactly what I I am aiming to do here. Just to explain you that, and the more you see, the better you understand. That's the game, right? You know my saying, right? You said it once, you said it twice, on the third time you would easily recognize. That's why we go over that, guys. That's why we go over that, and that's why I keep explaining the same things over and over again. At the end, you will remember that. And Kostas, I'm very proud of you, and Don, I'm very proud of you guys that you went with the trend, or at least didn't go against the trend. Very good. Okay? So guys, these lessons we got are the most valuable. Okay? Willem, again, we have all the reasons to expect levels, right? Always, 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 always. Don't trade rumors. Don't trade expectations, guys. Trade with facts. And remember, please remember the 3-step trading. We also had a webinar that, right? Remember, levels, first of all, confirmation and setup. Level, confirmation, setup. Okay? Kostas, why don't respect the levels? Because there is always higher level. Take a look on the pound dollar, for example. 140 was one of the levels, one of the first targets we were talking about when we are long, right? But the next one, we have the 146. And who said we're not going to reach there? It's still in the valid zone of the correction. There is always higher level that the cycle could extend, reach, approach. It's not about not respecting it. It's about not relying on that blindly. Okay, and if big money is big options are expiring on specific level, you will see the setup for that, and that's false breaks, convergences, or short-term 3 waves down, 2 waves up. That's the signs of money getting out. Okay, Brexit, what you had in Brexit was one-time event. It happens once in a while, such events. You can't avoid them, you can't prevent them. And then nothing technical goes on. But we are talking about technical days, right? Technical periods, not fundamental periods. When something crazy going around the world, don't try to catch up anything technical. It will never work. Never, ever, 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 ever. It cannot. Okay? Remember that, guys. Very important. David, a question. If you have false breaks and convergence, can the convergence pattern count as the 3 waves? Yes. Convergence can be built on the 3 and then 2 waves retrace. The answer is yes. And convergence could be separate by itself, just one straight move. Like it was here, Aussie yen yesterday, when we discussed our cells, right? It was straight move, no 3 waves down yet. Okay, so the answer is yes. Okay, great. Okay, guys, let's continue. We covered the majors. The levels are there. No reasons for sell on nowhere. Is that a possible false convergence? Yes, it is. Do we have anything to bring us into sell position here, guys? Especially on the New Zealand dollar. It's my favorite, to be honest. The New Zealand dollar. And the main reason for that, this is right on the top of the range, right? The levels are amazing and we know that, and false convergence on the time frame. So it's most likely should start building up soon. It doesn't mean today. It definitely means it's coming and building up. And I want to remind you the statistics we have, guys. We crossed through the 15. This was the first zone, 17. We got small bounce. We never got a big one. So our next important days, the beginning of the next month. You see that? Third and fourth. So it can still dance around for this period. Build up the sell positions, and then only then to start. And same with the euro dollar. We crossed through the 19, right? 19 was a heavily expected top. The only thing it managed to do was a little bounce and never provided us a sell. You see, another proof, guys. We can't rely on a level or on a day. We have to combine facts. Facts are setups. We go through that end of the month, 28th to 1st. That's the next critical period for the euro dollar. And that should start and build up during this week. And next week, make it. And from there, with very big chances, we are going to see the sell reasons. Currently, we don't have it for none of them. And that's what I want you to remember. Okay, guys? Okay. Now a few important updates. The first one, dollar versus the franc. Invalidated. I want to remind you, we wanted to have 2 waves down, which we like this, 1, 2, and go for a breakout to go long. This was the invalidation to our plan. It's invalidated. Dollar franc is back to bearish, and bearish only by the invalidation, right? The expectations for the level, that's the cycle that is currently developing. We have 2 critical levels here. One currently, but currently we don't have any divergence nowhere. So it remains under bearish pressure. The next possible level for the dollar franc would be 0.91. Okay? So if we go to the daily cycle and we measure this one, we will figure out that we are now crossing through 161.8 without any divergence developed, nowhere yet. Right? Therefore, the pressure remains bearish and we can see the 091 zone aiming on the coming period. So dollar franc is back to bearish. That's the first update. Euro yen still nothing, but we do keep an eye on this one, as it could start and maybe provide us triple cycle down, which we will then go and start looking for the sells. If not, Euro yen can still turn up and go to the 138. Definitely possible, definitely doable. So currently Euro yen remains under both directions tradable. Pound yen remains bullish, but, and here comes the but, this is a potential second false break, which means this is our low. Break below that turns the wheel and make it bearish. So it is bullish with this invalidation. For the bullish run, the target still could be 159, 160 zone. If we break below the invalidation, which is here, game is over for the bulls. This pair becomes bearish. Okay, guys? So keep an eye here. Very, very important. Cat franc, we could not get the rally for new highs yet. We could not get two waves retracing breakout, so we are moving a bit lower. Lower for this pair means exactly the levels we wanted to see. The 070, 5074 or the zone of 076. Both levels are important, both levels are in play. This is potentially creating false convergence. We don't yet currently have any reason for the buys. So cat franc short-term momentum is bearish. We still expect something like that to build before we are starting to look for buys. No false breaks, no convergence. The momentum remains bearish. Another update we have is the Aussie franc. Aussie franc short-term correction is still on play. I want to remind you, we wanted to see two waves down to go for long-term buys. The best zones for that are here. This is the best zone, 076 down to 075.70. This is the best zone to start looking for that. Apply the cycle expansion on the correction and you will get the same critical classical area. One of them is here, but we currently don't have any reasons. Second one is here. Currently the trend line that is developing is this. So once we get a stop by the breakout, we should start looking for the buys. Short-term retraces are still in play. For long-term, we are bullish and bullish only. Aussie franc, which we were looking to go buys on the beginning of the week, we wanted to see two waves and breakout or range, did not provide that, and by breaking through in one leg, as explained yesterday, this pair became only for short term, and for both directions we can still see the pair trying to push further to the zone of 107.50, maybe even 107. So no long-term calls on this one currently. Okay, and oil. Here is the oil. It is still fighting the top here, as you can see, spiking through, but refusing to hold above. So our bearish view remains on. If it does not retrace and break the trend line to start new lows, and alternatively breaks above that, holds above that, we are moving to bullish in that case, aiming 69 up to 70. Okay, keep an eye. Currently all it managed to do is just spiking through, clearing short-term stop losses, does not changing anything on the long term. Nasdaq and the other indices, we have the levels and we have Nothing more. Nothing more. False break. That could be the second false break. Okay. For this one, the Dow Jones, it starts to be very interesting. This is our second low. Let's see if we can get that convergence principle here. Convergence scenario here. If we manage to get a convergence scenario for Dow Jones, we are going to become bearish with the breakout. And the ones I wanted to go over, that the ones that starts to be the most interesting, this one, FTSE, was the only one to be able to break the double wave cycle, and by doing that, it becomes bearish. Okay, by doing that, it becomes bearish. Targets for the bearish run for the UK, of course, here 75.95, 75.35 on the short term, and on the long term, who knows, maybe that's the beginning of something bigger towards 73.40. That's the only one that currently I think worth to deal with. Cryptocurrencies, the bullish pressure remains on, and two waves. Well, currently we don't have any new two waves retraces here. That was the last call yesterday, which is holding. Keep an eye on these trend lines. As long as they hold, this is for Ripple, and this is for Ethereum. As long as this trend line holds, the pressure remains bullish. Breaking below this trend line, and this is the Bitcoin one, can be very dangerous. Breaking below that can open the doors for another low, and for the Bitcoin, that could be 8,000 or so. So very, very, very careful, guys, with the short-term trading here on the cryptos. The best ones were and remain for us, as I said many times. I would go with pairs against the Bitcoins. So Ethereum versus the Bitcoin, for example, right? And the Bitcoin Cash versus the Bitcoin. We need the trend lines to be broken. The NEO versus the Bitcoin. These ones versus the Bitcoin. The Monero versus the Bitcoin. Zcash versus the Bitcoin. Litecoin versus the Bitcoin. Ripple versus the Bitcoin. Why? Because I suspect the Bitcoin to be the main leader on the move down if it is about to make one. Okay, so we have the intraday trend lines there to follow. As long as they hold, perfect. If they are broken, be careful. And for for indices, James, for indices, we are currently only bearish on the this one, the UK. Okay, and the main reason for that is also this is the only one that got here convergence idea, the only one. The rest are not there yet. Maybe they will form it, but currently they are not, and that's why we have to be careful there. Okay, so that's all, guys. Pretty many pairs are moving exactly as wanted, reaching the levels we wanted, providing the intraday opportunity to enjoy from the moves. We got several very, very valuable lessons on the other pairs, which I hope you watch, learn, and apply. Any questions, guys? Perfect. If there are any questions, you can always find me private, Skype, Telegram, email if you need me. So thank you very much for the time being here, guys, and enjoy the rides and get ready for the tops. They are not far. They just need to form. Enjoy the short-term riding on the trend, of course, but for the long-term, enjoy the retraces that are coming on the coming weeks. It's about to happen. And Willem, you are enjoying the OZN? Perfect. Enjoy the OZN. OZN also got some very nice Scorpio on this morning, right on this place. Was really beautiful setup here on the Scorpio. A bit aggressive, yep, but it was very correct one with our target and destination. Thank you guys. Enjoy your day, and I'll see you in the groups. See you tomorrow as well. Ciao for now.